Okay, I think we can begin now our webinar. Yeah, I got signal from the organizer to start. Okay.
Okay, let's check.
Okay, yeah, we can begin now.
Sound test, okay?
Sound test, yeah, okay, good. Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all. Okay, today Sejahtera Center for Sustainability and Humanity is organizing a webinar entitled A Sharing Session on Indigenous and Local Community in conjunction with International Day of the World Indigenous People, okay, which is Monday, 9 August 2021. Okay, some introduction on this celebrated day. Okay, there are over 476 million indigenous people living in the 90 countries across the world, accounting for 6.2% of the global population. Indigenous peoples are the holders of the vast diversity of unique cultures, tradition, languages, and knowledge system. They have a special relationship with their lands and hold diverse concept of development based on their own worldviews and priorities. This COVID-19 pandemic has exposed and exacerbated many existing inequalities, disproportionalities affecting population all over the world that were already suffering from poverty, illness, discrimination, institutional instability, or financial insecurity. From the perspective of the indigenous people, this contrast is even starker. In many of our societies, the social contract at the very least needs some revisions. Okay, today in our webinar, we have 4 special guests that we called from our local communities as well as our neighboring and partners of RCE. We have Encik Nur Hishamuddin bin Kamil, the National Center of Excellence for Indigenous Pedagogy, IPGKTAA Pahang. And then we have an indigenous person herself, which is Sister Fatin Atira, anak perempuan Muhammad Rizal. She's an indigenous community representative, a 3rd-year student or trainee at the Institute of Teacher Tengku Ampuan Afzan campus, IPGKTAA. And then we have our partner, RC partner, speaker from our RC partner, Associate Professor Dr. Nandong Agus Fitriyanto from RCE Jakarta, Indonesia. And then finally, last but not least, we have our panel, Dr. Suhaizi bin Suhaimi, project leader of our flagship called Tirkah Rimba from the International Islamic University Malaysia, IIM, yes. Okay, so without further ado, I'll start and let's straight away engage with the panel. Yeah, first question for Encik Nur Hishamuddin.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Would you briefly describe the National Center of Pedagogical Excellence for the Indigenous, known as PKPPK? Would you enlighten the audience on its roles and functions pertaining to Indigenous education in Malaysia? Please, Syam.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina wa maulana Muhammad. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very pleasant morning, a very pleasant day to all the panelists, the moderator, and also the audience. First of all, I'm very honored today, and also I'm very glad today because been given the chance to share and also to enlighten the audience, all of you, about the center. We call it as the PKPPK, the National Center of Pedagogical Excellence for the indigenous community. Before I go straight to the point, I think it's better for us to know the indigenous group first in Malaysia. So can we go to the next slide then? Next slide. All right. This is actually the indigenous ethnic groups in Malaysia. At the moment, we have 18 main ethnic groups in Malaysia. And in IPG, or in our teacher training college at the moment, we have a representative from 9 main indigenous groups in Malaysia. And we are now still searching for another 9 more representative from this 9 more groups, ethnic groups. And we are doing our best in order to work together with schools and also with the State Education Department and also with the Ministry of Education in order for us to look for candidates to be teachers in schools later on. And we hope that by doing all these things, we can be able to at least find at least 1 representative from each of the 9 more ethnic groups. All right. Can we go to the, at the moment we have 18 ethnic groups, right, scattered all over the Peninsular Malaysia, right, in Perak, in Kelantan, in Terengganu, and also in Pahang itself, and also in Negeri Sembilan, and also in Johor. All right, can we go on to the next slide? Right, this is just an introduction for the indigenous group. All right, these are the indigenous schools that we have in Peninsular Malaysia at the moment. The total amount of schools will be 98 indigenous schools altogether. These are all the primary schools in for the indigenous students in all over Peninsular Malaysia. But at the same time, we also have primary school with indigenous students, meaning to say they mix together with the other localities, meaning to say they study together with the Malays, with the Chinese, and also with the Indian community. So this one is just the 100% indigenous schools. But at the same time, we also have a school for other with other indigenous other ethnic groups in Malaysia. All right, this is just the location of the schools all over the Peninsular Malaysia. Right, the main business. So can we go on to the next slide, PKPPK. Right, so briefly, when we talk about PKPPK or the center itself, right, it is located in Kuala Lumpur, Pahang. This is actually the place where our famous singer Siti Nurhaliza, she was born here in Lipis, Pahang. All right, and this center is established in 2009. So now it's almost more than 10 years already. So we have established this particular center. All right. We established this particular center based on the Indigenous Acts, or we call it as the Akta Orang Asli, right, 1954. So it is where we put our step, right? We start the establishment of this particular center in order to improve and also in order to upgrade the national education system for the indigenous community. All right. And this center was actually launched by the Deputy Minister of Ministry of Education in 2009 itself, right, in October. And then later on, the establishment of PKPPK, the center, the name of the center, all right, in 2012. And then this center is actually the parallel with the National Education Blueprint, whereby it stated that equal access to education to all the primary schools and also the students in all of Malaysia. So this is actually our basic foundation for this particular center. So we developed this center with this kind of perspective in mind, with this principle, so that everybody will have the chance to be educated. All right, and it is actually related to SDG, or sustainability development goal 4.5, whereby it is talking about equal access to education. All right, and this also include the indigenous community. So meaning to say, at the moment, we will ensure that all this indigenous community, they are not being left behind in education. So we are trying our best in a way for us to enlighten them about the importance of education in Malaysia, and about the importance of being in schools. right? Being absent in school and then being in school, and then they will being present in school, and then they will be in school, they will be studying, and then later on they will get education, right? Proper education. So everybody will have this chance, not only the main ethnic group in Malaysia, but also the indigenous community. So next, please. All right, we are looking at the roles of and also the responsibility of PK, PPK, the center itself. Right, when we talk about the roles, right, the most important that we are doing now is that actually we are developing and also we are generating pedagogical knowledge of the indigenous education. So meaning to say, now we are trying to build, to construct, and also we are trying to establish, and also we are trying to upgrade the pedagogical knowledge of this indigenous education in Malaysia itself. All right, and at the same time, we are addressing issues and also challenges in the education for the indigenous community. Right, we know that there are a lot of issues, there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of problems, right? Especially in terms of PDP or the online teaching at the moment because of MCO, right? Because of this COVID-19, we know that there will be a lot of problems there, and that we are trying our best in order to help them along and help the school as well as the Ministry of Education in order for us to address the issues, for us to at least minimize the problem, if not solving the problem, because there will be a lot of problems there. And then we are also trying to appreciate the equal rights of education, meaning to say we are trying to encourage everybody in this community, this indigenous community, be it in whichever ethnic group they are in. We are trying our best to encourage them to be in school, to have proper education, and also later on they will try to upgrade their family values later on. Right? At the same time, we are not trying to demolish or trying to delete their what we call this their culture and also their tradition. All right. And then we also trying to improve the implementation of indigenous curriculum in schools. So there will be our curriculum, indigenous curriculum in Malaysia itself. We have our own curriculum for the indigenous community of indigenous schools. Like we are trying to, we have already established that curriculum, and then we are now implementing it. And then at the same time, we are also upgrading it from time to time. All right, and then as the center itself, we are also providing training for teachers in school, as well as we are also providing training for the in-service teachers, meaning to say our students in this teacher training institute in IPGKTAA itself. All right, at the same time, we are giving courses to teachers, particularly about this indigenous education. All right, and finally, we also involved in doing research, all right, and also doing publication on the teaching modules and also the research on indigenous group and so on and so forth. All right, these are all pertaining or all relating to indigenous pedagogy itself. All right, so next one, please. All right, before I move on, this is actually the involvement that we have. These are the initiative that we have really looked into. All right, I divided into 4 main areas. All right, we are doing now. Currently, we are doing work on pre-service education. At the same time, we are looking at in-service education. All right, and at the same time, also we are looking at we are helping this indigenous community, and then we are looking beyond the curriculum. So perhaps I can just briefly mention about these 4 main items. Right, at the moment, pre-service education, we are teaching and also we are training our students, in this college. All right, and then for in-service education, we are trying to help the teachers in school, be it the indigenous teachers or the, ordinary teachers, normal teachers. The teachers in school who are currently teaching in indigenous schools, because there'll be specific pedagogy for them in order to teach this indigenous community. All right, and then we also involved in the work with this indigenous community. We are having good rapport, good relationship with the parents, right, in among the indigenous community, for us to help them and also to educate them, and also at the same time we are encouraging them to send their students to, their children to schools to have their proper education and to help them to improve their life later in the future. All right, and then we also involved in things, or aspects beyond the curriculum itself. All right, for example, we have community group, we can have community activities, right? We also have what we call this research. We also have museum, or the gallery for us to collect and also to display all these traditional and also cultural from these indigenous groups. Yeah. So I think I would like to stop here for a while.
Okay.
Let the other panels to continue the sessions. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Encik Syam, for the explanation about PKPPK. Okay, a very detailed explanation. Okay, now we'd like to listen from one of the trainee of PKPPK, okay, Sister Fatin Atira. And yeah, as I said earlier, she's also a member of the Orang Asal community. So this makes this event very special, hearing from you, Sister Fatin. The first question for you, okay, being one of the indigenous trainee teachers in the college, okay, what is your personal views of the importance of education for the indigenous community in Malaysia? Does it match with the normal curriculum of other students? Does it need adaptations? Again, and what makes you think that way?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, thank you for the question. Now, first and foremost, I really like to thank to all of you for having me here. It is such a great pleasure to be able to join this sharing session with all of these great people on indigenous and local community. Okay, so as you already know, my name is Fatin Atira Hana Perempuan Muhammad Rizal. Now I am going to officially introduce myself, okay? So the name is Fatin Atira Hana Perempuan Muhammad Rizal, and I am 21 years old. I live with my grandparents in Kampung Orang Asli Batu 55. So I'm going to answer the question on importance of knowledge based on my personal experience, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about my education background. Okay, when in the kindergarten, I went to Tabika Kemas Kampung Orang Asli Batu 55. And after that, I went to Sekolah Kebangsaan Maran for my primary school. And after that, I get an offer to go to a boarding school, which is located in Pekan Pahang. And the school is Sekolah Sains Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah Pekan. So I've been through these 3 levels of education, and it is enough to teach me what is the importance of knowledge. Well, the way that I see is it can contribute to my personal development. As for example, knowledge can really help me to boost my self-confidence, because when I was a kid, I was a very shy girl. I was in year 1 when teacher, they say that, oh, look at her, she is very shy. You should make her as an example because she keeps quiet and stuff. But the truth is, with the help of knowledge, I can slowly improving my self-confidence, in which in year 3, I started to enter a few competition. As for example, I went to public speaking competition, storytelling, poem recitation when I was in Form 3, and I joined a British Council class when I was in Form 2, and I become one of the Guru Muda, teaching my peers when I was in Form 5. So that is what I want to say. The importance of knowledge, it contributes to my personal development, okay? So the second one is it teaches me how to think, work properly, and make decisions wisely. So with the help of knowledge and education, it really can help me to tackle these daily problems, okay? The third important is to help me to break the notions. Back then, people, they don't really acknowledge the existence of Orang Asli. They're like, yeah, they don't really what do you call that? They really don't acknowledge the existence of orang asli. So what did I do with the help of my family? You know, they inspire me very lot, and they say that you have to do this. You have to prove them wrong. And then started on that day onward, I study hard, and I become one of the school top scorer. Thank God, and that makes them know the real potential of indigenous people. Okay, so if you ask me once again, what is important of knowledge to indigenous community in Malaysia, my answer would be very simple. First, it helps my community to have like personal development, which is it can help us to enhance ourselves with skills. And second, it can help indigenous community to think, work, and make decision wisely. And the best part of it, we can break the notions, you know, about what people thought about us. We can break them with education. So I hope that it answered your question. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sister Fatin, for the answer. Short and sweet answer. Okay, but very informative indeed. Again, we would love to hear more from you in question 2 later. Okay, next question I have would be for Prof. Nandung Agus from RCE Yogyakarta. You've been our partner, RCE partner
Yes.
from Indonesia, Yogyakarta. These online platforms allows us to meet easily, alhamdulillah.
Yes, thank you.
And hopefully we can have other engagement later in the future. Prof, can you explain a little bit about your RCE and what are the activities that you've been doing, especially related to indigenous community?
Thank you so much, Prof. Yasir, for this kind of opportunity. Also, Professor Zainal Abidin, which is invited me to join this very nice webinar. This is my great pleasure to greet all of you in Malaysia, especially from this very sunny morning in Yogyakarta right now. May I share my screen? Please allow me to share the screen. Okay.
Okay, you can share now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, actually, this is not my first time to attend the Islamic International University Malaysia in kind of this webinar. Previously, Tan Sri Zul and also Professor Zainal Abidin had invited me to come to IIUM, and I really excited with the situation in that university. It's quite good. Then we've discussed for some indicators and parameters in conducting community services. Well, now a little bit, I would like to talk about the indigenous Yogyakarta people, especially in this COVID area, COVID pandemic area. Can you see my slides just to make sure, Prof. Yasir?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, as the history, it was RCE Yogyakarta is actually under coordinate with UGM, Universitas Gadjah Mada, one of the oldest university in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. RCE itself was founded at the 2007, which is acknowledgement by United Nations University for International Advanced Study. That was funded to respond the earthquake with help on Yogyakarta at 2006, and linear with that, in the same times, illiteracy reduction program, and then supporting in small medium enterprises also addressed by the RCE Yogyakarta. We have the vision, we have the mission. Hamamayu Hayuning Bawano. This is adopted by Yogyakarta Village Vision. means that we have to, together with the community, promoting changes toward sustainable development through the education, with the mission of developing some kind of concept, technology, disseminate the product of the university as well into our community. Several aims of the RC Yogyakarta, which is one of that is to provide kind of education, especially in the sustainable development, even through the formal or informal education. And then the most important thing that we have to give some kind of information to increase the awareness, to provide space for learning for our community inside and outside the university. And the last one is to active involve and play roles in, especially in the international collaboration in the platform of RCE, at Regional Center of Expertise. So I know Professor Janal Abidin, Tan Srijul, etc., with some several colleges in Malaysia in this kind of platform. Well, this is how we work to coordinate several stakeholders in conducting community services, as well as the education for sustainable development, which is we are working together with the local government, some NGO, and then inside the UGM, there are a lot of units we are working together hand by hand, which is KP4, Faculty, Directorate for Community Services, etc., as you can see in this collaboration and partnership work. Well, that's the short introduction about the RCE Yogyakarta. And this is the current situation and current activities conducted by our RCE, especially during the pandemic 19. As Dr. Yasir said that it's impacted in all of the living aspect in our community, indigenous community in Yogyakarta, not only in the medical aspect, but also in economic and especially in the social aspect. As we can see that it was announced by our government at 2020 March 14. The government of Republic Indonesia said that, announced that coronavirus outbreak as the national disaster. So what's going on? What happened with our community? There are two kinds of community. One, they just say is everything okay, nothing extra. However, on the other hand, a lot of people has got panic for that kind of pandemic. They try to buy massively some medical stuff and then some food, etc. in that moment. Even several of all lockdown or close the road into their villages, into the kampung, etc. So it become very, very bad in that moment. Since then, we are difficult try to find some masks, for example. Masker habis, etc. Hand sanitizer habis, out of stock, etc. So that's why this kind of situation going almost half a year in that moment. So it's quite difficult at that moment. And also inside the lockdown kampung itself, they have to improve the security inside the kampung due to it's really difficult in some aspect, especially economic and social. It's difficult to sell anything in that moment. And then it's difficult also to buy something when they are lack of the money, etc. So also even some tukang sayur, in our words, they have also tried to make some understanding in our community to share about what is the coronavirus, how to avoid that, and how to counter this kind of problem, etc. Well, and then at that moment, RCU Yogyakarta launched kind of programs called by the Prevention of COVID-19 campaigns, which is actually this is kind of education program to our community itself. Even by using some stickers, media advertisement, or broadcast public service, announcement, etc. We try to contact directly to our indigenous community in that moment to make it understand and to make it some kind of support to them, which is we are not supposed to be panic in that current period. And also we distribute some kind of hand sanitizer from the UGM. Several experts can make not so difficult hand sanitizer liquid. Even WHO also released the standard for the hand sanitizer and disinfectant, and we just follow that procedure method to make some disinfectant in that moment. We are also together with the Kagama Care. Kagama means the alumni of UGM, which is distributed all over part of Indonesia. Some of them, they are very successful person, people which can share their funding to us, and we can distribute in the form of the medical aspect, even some daily life support, etc. So we just connect them between the needed person and the supporter of the funding, etc. And we also make some non-medical masks, and I can show you the pictures later. Well, this is kind of illustration how we, for example, change our car, even using some new color and painting on our car. We just try to catch the attention from our community with very big loud sound of that car to again remind to our community what is the actually coronaviruses, and try to make them stay calm and stay cool. From the UGM itself, we also provide some COVID call center, which can be connected by all of the members of the RC itself. Well, as we know that several students of the UGM by their program called by the KKN or Kuliah Kerja Nyata, which means that the student have obligatory major have to be taken before they are graduated from the UGM by conducting the community services in the community during about 2 months. So what they can do in that moment, they can make kind of buku saku or the guidance or handbook to our community. It's called by Desa Tangguh COVID. Means that the kampung itself have to get some kind of understanding, good understanding, and know very well how to encounter the COVID itself. Even also our student send some kind of paket bantuan sembako, means daily life such as rice or even milk or even sugar, etc. to the posko. Posko means shelter, which is made by some kampung to be a hub or connected that kampung to another stakeholders outside the kampung itself. Well, we are also trying to encourage our community, which is actually basically they are working on batik, as we know. I know that friends and colleagues from Malaysia know well about the batik. However, during the pandemic, almost no order from the batik because a lot of people lack of the money in that moment. So this sister have to be survived during the pandemic. So what they can do is we try to support them to change the basic business from making the batik into business or work or some activities to make some medical cover roll, gloves, and also non-medical mask. So this is kind of a method to survive from the lack of the batik's order. So that's why RCE try to distribute that kind of, we buy the product from the sister, and then we spray and we distribute to our community, which possibly they need this kind of facilities. And also, well, and also students, alumni, they produce the face shield to try to protect the community from the droplet of the infected person. We buy from some 3D printing and then develop some models, and then we made it and we distribute to the community. Even yes, a lot of more 1,000 of the face shield has been distributed to the community. And also some of the members of the faculty, they produce disinfectant and hand sanitizer also. Then we distribute also to our community, indigenous community, to be used as kind of self-protection in their kampung. Also, some UGM lecturer create some portable things. Where was the idea to make hand was based on the portable things, and also this is the concept of science. Some of them is from the faculty of engineering. They get a lot of funding, and then they made some kind of a portable thing, and they distribute it also to our community. Even some of lecturers try to build disinfectant booth like this, and then we put it on the hospital, especially in the very rural area. So it's kind of try to make a point from the virus itself. Even some of the lecturers and several communities, they distribute a lot of hand sanitizer in the road, in a very small and simple package. So every person can use that hand sanitizer to protect themselves. Some of the faculty, especially engineering, also distribute some food to the overseas students. In the moment, they still stay at the UGM, and then look like there are no way to go home to their own country. And then some of the faculties and also the International Student Affair, they produce some food to them to ensure that they are not lacking in some food. And we are also, just one minute. RC also have some collaboration with the UGM to distribute masks and sanitizer in the local market, which is dominated by some indigenous people. Well, I think that it just only a lot of pictures.
Yeah, so many.
Yeah, illustrate how we try to keep in contact with our community itself, which is now a little in a really difficult situation due to the COVID area. I think that's our Prof. Yasir. I appreciate your kind.
Thank you so much, Prof. Prof. Nanung. Very nice description of the activities related to COVID. Everyone is now in hardship due to COVID, and it's good to hear that your RCE are helping so much with so much for the indigenous community to battle this COVID, inshallah. Okay, thank you, Prof. Next question, I have to move on to the next panel. Next question is to Dr. Suhaizi, from the project leader of Tirkah Rimba flagship. I have been introducing flagships, so many flagships all over since last few years. And Tirkah Rimba is one of the very prominent flagships related to indigenous community. Dr. Suhaizi, can you explain to us what is this Tirkah Rimba project? Probably tell us about your activities related to indigenous community.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to express my gratitude to Sejahtera community itself for inviting me to this webinar. So I would like to greet all the panels, Encik Isham, Prof. Nanung, and also Sister Fatin Atira, also the moderator itself. It's a great pleasure for me to share this Tirkah Rimba, the flagship of Tirkah Rimba. So I proceed with my presentation. Okay, is it all of you can see my slide? Is it okay?
No, we don't see. We cannot see your slide. We can only see your file browser. Maybe on different screen.
That's correct. You are screen sharing. Still cannot see my slide, is it? Oh, you can see?
We can see your browser, your Explorer,
Explorer.
not your slide.
Right now? Still the same?
Yeah, now we can see your slide.
Okay, sorry. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Actually, I would like to tell to all of you, is it? I'm quite new in the about orang asli or indigenous people research itself. So currently, the IUM appoint me to this kind of flagship that we call as Tirkah Rimba, which mean Tirkah means in classic language itself means like heritage or warisan. So Rimba itself means jungle or forest. So I combine it with Tirkah Rimba, which means something that that we can preserve, kind of anything related to the forest of the Rimba itself. So Tirkah Rimba is how the name come, how the name I combine it. And I am flagship that appoint me to this kind of flagship, and there are other members for the flagship itself, and then it's come from my kuliah or faculty itself and others kuliah, and although the collaboration also come from another university such as MMU, and also another company such as Sandabi. But due to the pandemic COVID itself, it's kind of nothing much can do about the research itself. So Tirkah Rimba, before that, before we proceed with another kind of research and so on, I would like to introduce all of you what is Tirkah Rimba itself. So the project aims to conduct a research that integrated several aspects, which include culture, language, and preservation and conservation of orang asal tradition for future generation. Which means the Tirkah Rimba focus more on the language, culture, and also what we call about preservation and conservation is about the tourism itself. Because in my kuliah or faculty in IIUM Pago, we have two different department, which are language and also the tourism itself. So we combine it to do a research on language, culture, and also all together with the tourism. As we all know, the indigenous people or the orang asli community itself tend to live in the jungle, and but they kind to mix around with the others community, which are Malay, Indian, and so on. So my what we call that my research currently due to the pandemic COVID-19, we are focus more on the language and culture itself, because the tourism aspect I cannot do much, and because of the pandemic COVID-19. Okay, and in a way, it will lead to understanding on how culture diversity interrelated with language, culture, and tourism. As I mentioned before, Tirkah Rimba focus more on the language, culture, and tourism. We combine with the expertise from the others department, for example, tourism department at IUM Pago itself. The implementation of IIM mission for the Tirkah Rimba flagships, as we can see in the slide, to produce better quality intellectual, professional, and scholar by integrating qualities of faith, iman, knowledge, and good character. Which means it's not about the indigenous people itself. We try to, under the flagship of Tikarimba, we try to encourage the student to know better about the indigenous people. And the nearest orang asli tribe atau kaum orang asal in Muar itself, within the area of my IIM Pago itself, is the orang asli suku Jakun, suku kaum Jakun or Jakun tribe at Lenga, Muar, Johor. So a lot of things that we do according to the IIM mission implementation to produce, as I mentioned before, to produce better quality intellectual, professional, scholar by faith, knowledge, and good character. Even though we not focus more on the education itself, but relating to the culture and language itself, mix around with also with the education, because my other team member also do a research on the education. Most of the students of orang asli Jakun tribe, suku kaum Jakun in the Lenga, is at the Kampung Sentosa itself. Most of them go to the primary school at the SK Kampung Baru Lenga. Because of the pandemic, some of them quite not getting along with the situation, and most of them like tertinggal, macam something like that lah. And then but the research on the education itself, one of the things that we focus, the other thing that we want to focus based on the culture and also the language. Next mission implementation in Tikarimba flagship is to nurture the quality of holistic excellence, which is imbued with Islamic spiritual values. Even though we are not trying to, make sure all the indigenous people convert to Muslims, not that something like that. We want to implementation. We want to implement the Islamization elements towards the indigenous people, because we all know most of the indigenous people, they believe about the spirits, about the something like related to the jungle itself, but not converting them to the Muslim, but implement the element of Islam towards the indigenous people community. Next is to exemplify an international community of dedicated intellectual, means international community, because of the pandemic, is quite relevant to us to do an online communication. But for the Tikarimba itself, not too far that we are going to the international. Currently we focus more on the nearest part of the community of the orang asal in Muar. But research about the international indigenous peoples have been done, especially about the Australia, and also the other country that have indigenous people. Also come kind of from the Indonesia itself, but not too wide research on that. Focus on the local community at the Muar itself. Okay, to enhance intercultural understanding and foster civilization, which mean we know all the indigenous people they have their own belief, their own tradition, their own culture, but to build understanding between the interculture of the different culture itself is quite a challenge for us in the Tikarimba flagship. So we tend to make the relationship between the others community which are such as Malay, Indian, and also Chinese, to engage together with the indigenous people, because they are schooling together. They are going to school together in the SK Kampung Baru Lenga. A lot of program that we have done to make sure all the relationship become more stronger and so on. I will tell all of you later. To develop an environment that instills commitment for lifelong learning and sense of social responsibility among staff and students. As I mentioned before, this project of flagship itself do the research based on the one department only. We also collaboration with the other department, also together with tourism and also the other company, to make sure also that the research or the flagship itself going well, and also includes all the staff and also the student itself from IIUM. We tend to, the assignment itself, we tend to give them some assignment relating to the indigenous people itself. Okay, so the IIUM mission implementation, implement in the flagship itself. Also, Makasih Syariah, we have the protection of life, intellectual, lineage, and also wealth. And SDG, we also implement SDG 15 and also SDG 17, life of land, to provide strategic planning. Strategic planning on language, culture, and tourism will help the Orang Asal or Orang Asli community continuously. This according to the SDG 15, related to the SDG itself, to strengthen the social cohesion and building the social capital of Orang Asli by interrelating with language, culture, and tourism. Also still focus on the language, culture, and tourism, together with the SDG 15 and also SDG 17, partnership for goal, empowering Orang Asal through their participation in tourism, business and culture preservation activities. For your information, at the Kampung Sentosa, for the Jakun, Orang Asal Jakun or the Jakun tribe itself, they are not exposed about the tourism. Even though there are places or have a lot of potential, their community have a lot of potential to strength about the tourism. By the Tika Rimba, kind of one of the mission of the Tika Rimba itself, we want to strengthen empowering about their tourism, the local community and business culture, to all together to enhance their income and so on. Next, to integrate different discipline in knowledge, which includes anthropology, cultural, language, and preservation, or other tradition. It's related to the culture and language itself. All the youngsters from the most of the youngsters from the Jakun tribes not know well about their tradition and culture. So Tika Rimba kind of to empower, strengthen, and also anything related to the culture and also language, and the other hands to strengthen the tourism itself. So that's all from me. Towards according to the Tika Rimba introduction, I pass this moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Saizi, for the explanation about Tika Rimba. I'll ask you another question after this, probably in slightly more detailed activity that you have with Indigenous community through this Tika Rimba. But yeah, next question would be for our first panel. Back to the first panel, Encik Isham from PKPPK. Okay, you said your center, okay, one of the four main areas that you want to pursue or push for is for the indigenous community. Right. Okay, can you share, okay, what are some of your agency's main programs or initiatives, especially in the aspect of indigenous education at pre-service education level, which are related to ensuring equal access in education among the indigenous community in Malaysia? Okay, we always see there's unequal access. Okay, what's your initiative to ensure this?
So, yeah, thank you very much to the moderator. We'll come back. Just now I have mentioned about our initiative. We divided our initiative into four main areas. So for this short time briefing, so I think we just focus on the first initiative, which is actually pre-service teachers. So when we talk about pre-service teachers, we in the college itself, this teaching college, we are very thankful to our main campus, which is actually the Institute of Teacher Education Malaysia in Cyberjaya, because the main campus provide us with select the students to enroll in this college, especially among the indigenous students. Right, we have this program, special program, what we call is a special intake for the degree program. It started as early as 2010 with only 10 students, 10 engineer students, and then up until now, by 2020, we have already around 195 students altogether. These are all the indigenous students from different ethnic groups. Right, they are from Jakun, they are from Jahut, Kuala, Mahamari, Semelai, Semokberi, Temia, Temuan, and so on and so forth. And we are, that's as I mentioned just now, we are still looking for other representatives from other groups as well. All right. For this program, those students, these indigenous students, those selected students, they will be here in this college for about 5 years. All right, and then they were selected. They underwent the same selection process, but the minimum requirements for them to be here, to enroll in this degree program, is a bit lower compared to the other ethnic groups. Right? Even though I said it's a bit lower, some of the students, I mean the indigenous students, they are very good in terms of their secondary certificate of education, or SPM, in Malaysia. For example, like some of them, they managed to score 5 A's, 6 A's, 7 A's. One of the living proof at the moment is Sister Fatin is herself. All right, she managed to get a very good SPM results. Right, and then she enrolled in this college. All right, for this particular in this college, they will learn about the knowledge on being a teacher, and also they need to know all of pedagogical knowledge. All right, can we have the next slide, please? All right, for this, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, having problem with the, all right, sorry. Okay. This is the one, okay, when we talk about pre-service activities, these are the four main areas that we are developing the students, I mean the indigenous students here in this college. First, we introduce and also we polish them with content knowledge, right? This is where they enroll in their major and also elective courses. At the moment, we have early education program, we have Bahasa Melayu, and also we have physical education as their elective courses. So all these things, they will learn about all the content knowledge that needed to be a teacher. All right, and then at the same time, we are also looking at their pedagogical knowledge. All right, their skills that they need to have in order to teach the knowledge that they have got in the classroom. All right, and for this item or for this aspect, we provide them with micro and also macro teaching. At the same time, we also have practicum sessions. All right, for micro and macro teaching, they will have it throughout the course, the 5 years course here, degree program. And for practicum, they will be in schools, selected school. We try to have them to be in school, in indigenous schools, right, all over Lipis itself, I mean the surrounding area, and also the in Pahang itself. All right, and then for this practicum, they will be in schools for about two months for semester 5, and then 3 months for semester when they are in semester 7. So altogether, they will have almost more or less around 5 months to be in schools, and then this is where the lecturers and then the teachers in school will help them, will develop their pedagogical knowledge. They will have the chance to apply whatever knowledge they have got in during their studies, and then they try out new ideas, new things in the classroom, right? And then the lecturers and the teachers in school will help them, will guide them to be a good teacher later on. All right. At the same time, also we are also helping them with motivational programs, whereby we have conducted a lot of activities, a lot of programs in terms of motivational, whereby we have good collaboration, good partnership with the state and also the education department, and also in schools. Right. So in this program, we bring the students, the indigenous students, to schools, whereby they will they themselves will conduct the motivational program to the primary school pupils, right? Be it in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5 students. And the school will provide the students, and then we will provide the trainers. So they will become trainers, or they will become the facilitator. All right, they will have these group work activities. They will conduct the activities by themselves with the help and with the guidance of the lecturers, we ourselves. All right. So by doing all these things, they will be able to speak in front of the audience. They will know how to conduct the programs. They will know how to provide, to encourage students, the pupils in the indigenous community, and so on and so forth. So these, all of them is just extra curriculum or extra experience they got, not only from in the normal classroom, but also in their programs, right? These motivational programs, right? At the same time, also we provide them with other professional events. For example, like we provide them with courses, right? For example, we have these coaching courses, and also we have talks, right? And we call upon panelists panels from other departments or other agencies, okay, to come here and to give a talk on indigenous, the importance of indigenous education. At the same time, we also encourage them to be involved in seminars, right, and also in webinars. For example, at the moment, we have Fatin joining us, right, and before this, we have other students as well joining us together with other IPTA, for example, like together with University of Malaya, and so on and so forth. So we have all these elements or activities in order to develop their what we call this the preparation. We prepare them to be in schools later on, and to be able to be together with the schools later on to help the students, in indigenous students later on. All right, next slide, please. Okay. All right, then we are looking at the impact of this special intake program. So this main program, what will be the impact so far from 2010 at the moment? Yeah.
Sorry, we are running out of time. Can you go faster?
Okay, right. Okay. The special intake now, at the moment, we have 110 teachers being posted to school. These teachers are actually the indigenous teachers from our college. They are in schools already at the moment. And then at the moment, we have also, these students have become the role model, all right, and also the kind of source of inspiration for the students or the pupils in the school, all right, especially among the indigenous students, to have education, all right. And at the same time, these students, the schools there, the students in school at the moment, they have become the ambassador, meaning to say the middleman, the middle person between the school and also the parents in this indigenous community. Right? Whatever the parents have any problem, whatever issues that they have, then we can talk to the teachers. And at the same time, these students, these special intake program students, they have become the source of reference to MOE, Ministry of Education, as well as the indigenous culture, for the indigenous culture, and also for the indigenous education. All right. So I think I can just share one slide, all right, about the photos that we have. Just one slide. Next slide, please, Prof. These are the example of the things that we have done in order to help the students and also help the community inequality in our society. Okay, so I think because of time limit, so I think I can stop here for a while. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sorry for the time always not enough for all this sharing. Yeah, thank you, Encik Syam. Okay, without further ado, I have to move to Sister Fatin. Okay, so many initiatives done by PPK, and Fatin, you are there as trainee, and you have said just now that education to you, education and knowledge basically are beneficial for orang asli. Okay, and now the question is to you, how would you, after this, right, after all this training and education, knowledge that you have gained, how would you go back and help to develop the education among the indigenous communities, your community or probably other communities as well? And probably how could you bring the voice of or culture or the perspective of your own community to this and pushed it to this formal education system that we have, the standard that we have?
Okay, thank you for the question again. Okay, now the question is how to develop education in my society, right? Okay, when I got accepted to IPG, PKPPK, the center itself, really helped me a lot to enhance my skill and provide me with plenty of fun and exciting experience, you know, with the kids. So what we do is we went to villages and, you know, my lecturer would gather all of us in a place. So that was before the pandemic hit the country and the whole world. Okay, my lecturer would go and gather all of us and he said, okay, this week, let's go to Kuala Koyan. And all of us, like, we're super excited, you know, to meet all the children there. So we go, he said, I want you to plan the activities, and with my guide, I hope that you can conduct very exciting activities. And all of us, we worked hard to plan the activities. And I still remember we are making activities with them. And for example, we make treasure hunting with them, and we also guide them to, you know, in educational way. Okay, so what did I do is the best thing is this is the really beautiful interaction which I can communicate with them, with the kids, you know, and educate them, and in the same time I learn something from them. And also, if you ask me how did I develop education in my society, of course, I help my friend in Tasik Chini. So I want to give this credit to Azmi Muhammad, Azmi, Juliana, and Ichi. They were great. You know, like they plan to do something, or they plan a program in their village to help the kids. You know, if they have any problems in education, they were there to provide the guide. Okay, so again, me and lecturers, Julie, Azian, and I, and Encik Sheila and his wife, the five of us, we went and spent 2 or 3 days in Tasik Chini. And the experience is super exciting, okay? Because Azmi, he come and told to me, Fatin, you have to teach these year 5 students English. And I'd be like, oh my God, this is so fun, because I really want my society to look English in a very different way. I mean, like, I want all of them to have fun with English, you know. It is not just about learning grammar and preposition, you name it. Okay, so what I do is I teach them to sing. And the best part of it is you can see how a person or how a kid turn into a very introvert one into the extrovert. You know, at first when I entered the class, they were like very amazed, I guess, amazed that orang asli is being able to speak English. And yeah, and I said, okay, all of you can also be like me. So let's sing a song today. It's very simple. And I started to write the lyrics at the whiteboard. And at first they were like very shy. And by the end of the class, they were all joining me, singing the song, and we were laughing and having fun. So that is one of my little ways to develop education in my society. And after that, we got so carried away, you know, Julie, Azian, and I, we were so happy, you know, and we really want to make the same thing to our village. We did collect the data, but with this pandemic, we have to postpone and delay it until now. Okay, so again, if you ask me what is or how I develop education in my society, So the first is with the help of PKPPK, I be able to reach out to the students area Kuala Lumpur and educate them. And we were having that kind of interaction right now that I just told you. And I also help my friends as me, and we also will be conducting the same program in our village. So I guess that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Fatin. Yeah, it's very enlightening to hear from you. Okay, especially with your very excellent English. Yeah, I believe you have put a very huge effort to learn English yourself, and yeah, it's good to always. It is always good to learn new languages, especially for all communities. You also shared just now that knowledge. Again. We are introducing knowledge to the community, to the Orang Asli community especially. But it is also important, okay, so probably this will lead to the next question to our panel, which is Prof. Nanong and also Dr. Swazi. Knowledge the process of getting knowledge goes both ways. We should probably give the knowledge that is beneficial to the community, to Orang Asal community. And at the same time, we should learn whatever that is good, the good culture, the good community, the good knowledge coming from this indigenous people to us, especially we at the university, Prof. Nanong and Dr. Swazi. At the universities, what can we do at the university level? Probably through your RCE project, probably through the Tirkah Rimba project. What can we do to take the knowledge from the indigenous community and bring it to the others? Probably something have been done by RCE Jakarta, probably something have been done by Tirkah Rimba. So I'd like to invite Prof. Nanong, probably you can share with us what are your initiatives, how do we learn from, instead of just giving, providing engineering solutions, providing languages and math knowledge, what can we learn from these indigenous people?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Yasir. We are in Indonesia, especially, we have three kind of obligatory matters when we are working in higher education institution. Conducting education inside the campus. And then the second one is doing research and conducting the community services. So this is the obligatory matters. That's become the most important thing. So that's why all of the members of the university will be encouraged by that obligation from our government to conduct the community services and also to disseminate the product of the university outside into the community. But then I agree that on the other side, we have to take also or learn from the condition of our community itself. We have to choose kind of agent inside the community or inside the campus. In this part is students can be the agent of that program. When we have the opportunity to send our students into the community, so they will have the possibility or the opportunity to learn directly to our community from what is the specific matter on that community, what is actually faced by our community based on the problem or the situation, their economic condition, their culture, etc. Or even we can send all the students from the Aceh to the Papua. So the student will take this opportunity, of course, by supporting from the university. They can learn a lot of. Then, as the output of this activity, they have to make kind of publication, even in the media. They have to upload the activities inside the YouTube, for example. So it can be learned by another university in Indonesia also. So this current situation is in Aceh like this. Even our friends, our colleagues from outside the Indonesia, they can access by searching with the keyword KKN UGM, everything will be there. So this experience has also been recognized by UNESCO itself, and some of the team, when the students deploy to the community, they will submit as kind of competition video, etc., and UNESCO can grant it some achievement to them. So that one become one of the example, which is the lecturer will not have a lot of times to almost all a whole day inside in the community. But it's different with the student itself, when student have the obligatory subject to conduct community services. During 2 months, they have to live together with the community, so they can learn a lot of it in the community, as well as giving some service, giving some advice, giving some kind of connection with other stakeholders, which is the local government, for example, or even the company example. They can support a lot of funding to do this kind of activities. So we have to choose the local hero also in the community, so it can engage with our student as well as the teacher when they are conducting in the community services. I think that's kind of illustration what we are conducting in UGM as well.
Very interesting concept, Prof. I think we should follow that. In fact, other universities all around the world should follow that. We engage with the community, and then any knowledge that we discover should be published and shared with others. Yeah, maybe YouTube video also would be good. Next question for Dr. Saizi, similar question. But earlier you mentioned that you do some research, preserving the culture of the Jakun community of very close to your campus. Can you share with us how can we expand this again, probably do this and take this as part of the curriculum or academic activities in the university?
Thank you. So yeah, say as for me, to enhance the what we call that education itself is more important on this, because to enhance the program, the indigenous people itself through culture, language, and also tourism, we have to make sure we can make the student to join the program that we already assist them to do the program. For example, for the Tika Rimba itself, we encourage the student to join anything related to the community of Orang Asal at the Jakun, at the Kampung Sentosa Jakun Lenga. For example, we collecting the data about the dialect, about the language from the community. As I mentioned before, for current research, we are doing on the Jakun, on the Jakun tribe, or the suku kaum Jakun, relating to the tourism, culture, and also language. But for the language itself, we can do a collaboration with the student, or also with the Jakun community. As a lecturer, we can also involve the assignment, the subject assignment related to the Orang Asal culture, language, and so. For example, last semester, I just give the example that have been done from me all together with my students. For example, I can, it's not the promotion, it's not the promote the books itself. It's one of the, the dictionary of Kamus, okay, have been published at my related to the dialects of Kaum Jakun.
Very interesting.
So this simple dictionary, maybe Sister Fatin also can learn. I really don't know. Maybe can I know you come from the suku what, Fatin? At Marang?
Semak Beri. Suku Semak Beri.
Mahmari.
Semak Beri, Semenai Jakun. I have 3.
Oh, yeah, is it? Okay, it's quite interesting because the Jakun itself from the Lenga itself, Mua, Jakun tribe. Most of them are not really into the original tradition, and most of the youngsters not really know about their tradition. Only the elders knows the tradition, so I want to preserve on that, because that's why we came out with the simple dialect, the simple language, the simple what we call that, the simple thing that they talk every day, and then we translate. We ask them. We ask the community, the Jakun community, what is the words in their language or in their dialect. We then we make a book or dictionary on that. At least we preserve on the dialect itself. On the culture itself, we also ask. We also make research on the about the taboos, or the what they can be done, what cannot be done. Most of the Jakun tribes, we find out that not quite different with the Malay taboos. Most of them quite same. I don't know from the sister pattern itself. Maybe for the Jakun itself, they get along with with other communities. So even though they are cooking, even though their way of wearing on the daily activities and so on, quite same with the Malay itself. So I encourage the students, maybe the others audience also encourage our friends, also the local communities get to know better with the orang asli or orang asal communities, because if we didn't do that, the community itself not get along with us. For example, we can contribute with the stakeholders. We can contribute with the teachers from the school, from the nearest school, and also the expertise from other department and so on. That's make things the teaching and learning, also the education for the indigenous people become better, and we also as a lecturer can do more research and do a better explanation, and also to the better research to the other researchers to go proceed with our research itself. I think that's all from me for my suggestion. Okay,
thank you, Dr. Suhaizi. Very interesting and very nice dictionary that you published. Yeah, something that we probably can learn. At least their language are very different from other languages. So yeah, so Kamus, a dictionary translating a language is one way to probably share knowledge. First step of sharing knowledge, and and probably assimilating all this indigenous knowledge through research, etc., would be a good way for universities to move forward as well. Okay, we have finished with the question session, 2 rounds of questionings. Now we open the floor for any question from the audience. If there is any question, may I know if there's any question from the chat, or if anyone wants to say something in the Zoom session? Anyways. Okay, in the chat, basically, yeah, everyone was just saying, thanking the panels for sharing of information. Yeah, we are also thankful to all the panels for sharing your information. I think, yeah, there's no question from the audience. Yeah, and we are also out of time. Sorry?
Yes.
Can
I just add into the whatever mentioned by Dr. Suhaizi just now, talking about the dictionary just now. So we in this center as well, we also have published dictionaries for 3 languages among the ethnic groups, and as well at the same time we also have the simple language for classroom instructional language that can be used by teachers. So they just in a way of promoting center as well.
That's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Okay. Okay. Everyone can promote their books. Yes.
Yes,
But
definitely.
there's so many resources for knowledge, but the
Yes.
more there is, the better, right?
Yeah.
So congratulations to PK, and congratulations to Prof. Swaizi, Dr. Swaizi, for your kamus list. There's no questions. Okay, so I think we can close the session with a very short concluding remark from everyone, from all the panels.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe you can relate to COVID and indigenous people, and probably what can be done, etc. 1 minute concluding remark. I'll start with Encik Hisham.
All right. So first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Sejahtera RCE Center, Greater Center in Gombak itself. Thank you very much for this opportunity for us to share. And then at the same time, I would like to also mention about our tasks and also our responsibilities at the moment. It's not only our responsibility, but also let us work together in a good collaboration for us in order to improve and also to upgrade the indigenous education in Malaysia itself, just to ensure that everybody have the equal access to education. And for this opportunity as well, I would like to invite the speakers and also all the audience to come to the center in Lipis itself, just to have a feeling of, to have a look at whatever we have done in this college. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you for the invitation, Encik Hisham.
Yes.
Okay, next, Sister Fatin. Anything you want to share with us? Last concluding remark.
I would like to thank to all of you for having me here, and I really hope that my people would have better education, and with that we will need more teachers to educate and inspire orang asli. And I have a message to anak orang asli out there. Okay, anak orang asli, you are special. Okay, and nobody is going to tell you different, because you are unique in your own way. So don't stop learning. Go. Yeah, I think that is all.
Thank you, Sister Fatin. Very nice to hear that. Again, as we have mentioned throughout this webinar, we want to learn both ways. Okay, we're not only imparting knowledge to the community of orang asli, we also want to learn from the indigenous. That's always the way. Okay, next, Prof. Nanong from RCE.
Well, yes, I would like to take this opportunity to express my grateful thanks to RCE Gombak as well as the Sejahtera Center for Sustainability and Humanity to have me in this nice webinar. It's just one word that what we can do for our community, let's do it. Just let's do it. They are waiting for our hands. They are waiting for our support, etc. And yes, I'm agree with the professor just said. We can learn also from their any kind of activities and the lifestyle and everything. So we have to always contact and engage to our community for better life. That's all. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Prof. Okay, next, Dr. Suhaizi, your last concluding remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I would like to express my gratitude to the IIM Sejahtera RCE and also the others panel to share all together your information and also things about the indigenous people and also lend your ear to hear my sharing. And also to Sister Fatin Atira, I would like to express my congratulate to you, because it's quite proud of me, because you manage encourage the others indigenous people to go better and keep doing on that. And also we as a lecturer or the other researchers itself will help the other indigenous people to move better. And my last word, which is anything we do related to the community engagement, just do it. Just do it, because even though we seek help from someone that maybe not a better education than us, it's nothing to be embarrassed on that or shy on that. We just do our things and let together makes the future the better future, inshallah. Thank you.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Dr. Swaizi. So on behalf of the Secretariat of RCE Greater Gombak, the Sejahtera Center of Sustainability and Humanity, we'd like to thank all the panels. Okay, thank you for all the knowledge that you have shared. And and hopefully in the future when you discover more, please share more with us and be with us. And also thank you to all the audience. Thank you to all the audience for listening, and hopefully everyone can take something up from
You're
this.
most welcome, Associate Professor Yasir.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Abdul Ghaffar Jafar from RPG Kampus Ungkapan Afzal.
Oh, okay. Assalamualaikum. Okay.
And I'd like to congratulate Fatin Atira also.
Yeah, congratulations, Fatin.
Because she is from,
very good.
at the moment, she's staying in the college asrama hostel. I'm the chief warden.
Oh, okay. Okay, congratulations, Fatin. Okay, to all the panels, I'd like to request sekejap the session have ended.
Right.
And now we like to stay for a while to take a photo.
Right.
The secretary, the organizer want to take a photo of all the panels. Boleh bagi cue, Zaidah? Sekejap. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, 3. All right.